Quick announcement at the end of the video. Make sure to watch till the end. Alright guys, welcome back to another MCreator tutorial. So this is the last one for the tutorial series for structures. We're going to be covering probably other stuff in the future if Mojang adds more support for other things. But I wanted to cover one last thing, which is structure sets. And it's an interesting little event because there's these structures here which are generating in the plains biome, and then if we go over here, these are the same structure, just a different variant of it, and it's in the forest biomes. So I've created a couple tags to allow support for more different types of biomes. As you can see over here, we have some generating in the taiga biome, which is also part of the same pool. So I'll be covering how to do this today. This is manual code, but it's pretty simple to set up, and I'll be covering the steps of doing that. But first, let's go into the MCreator application and see what I need in order to actually do this. So first things first, we're going to need two structures at least. One's going to be our variant for one of the biomes, and then the other one's going to be the other one. We also need at least one structure element with the whatever settings you want to really set it to. We'll be changing them later. So again, if you want to do something for structures, you would set your structure type in here. I just basically enabled the overworld for when I was generating it because this is required. And then I've set the default structure that I want. We'll be adding another one of those later through the structure sets, but we'll be using that as the default one. Now, jigsaw, I didn't actually set up a jigsaw. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. Villages do use jigsaw though, so you could have two different types of jigsaw blocks directly through the structure and generate things like villages and stuff, and that would work as well. So other than that, that's the only settings that I've really configured for this particular structure. I've just added the tag and basically just made sure that one of the structures are set, and I've left all the other settings default. And then I've basically locked the code after regenerating the workspace. So basically just regenerating it, then lock, and then we could go into the game folders. Now, if you're not familiar with how to get to the game folder, you can go up to the workspace, open folder, and then you'll get this folder here, which is your workspace folder. So we'll be navigating through here to get to the folder. So first things first, let's go into the source folder, which is the src folder, and then we're going to go into main, resources, data, our namespace, and then we're going to see a few different files here. The first one that you're going to notice is we have one called worldgen, and inside here what we have is three folders that will be generated with your structure. We'll have one called structure sets. That's what we'll be basically working in. We'll have one called structure pool. You should only have actually one of these in this folder at this point, unless you have multiple structures, and then you might have other ones. And there will be one structure file in the structures folder, again, unless you have multiple structures. So we're going to be starting with basically duplicating the structure folder, and I'm just going to actually undo everything. I'm just going to delete the entire folder for the worldgen, and I'm going to regenerate the code, and we're going to start from scratch. Okay, so I'll walk you through with how to do. Okay, so folder is deleted. I am going to unlock this so I can generate the files, and we're just going to regenerate the code by clicking that orange button up there. And then what I'm going to do is it should generate the folders that we need. So we have that world generation folder back. And we're just going to lock this now that we've regenerated it. And then we're going to start with opening up our folder. And then we're going to go to our structure set one. We're going to start here because this is basically the root file that's going to be generating the structure. Then that's going to be calling the ones in the structure file. And then the structure ones are going to be calling the pools. So basically it's 1, 2, and then 3 levels of folders. It's always going to be starting with your structure set. So I explained this last because it's not really required for any of the other stuff, and it can confuse people if I started with this. But now that you know that you can do this, it's probably time to actually explain it. So let's go into the test one. And it's very simple. It's straightforward. I'm not going to cover too much of the settings down here. These are configured already through the settings for the spread and stuff in the structure itself. If we open up here, it's covered by these two things right here. So if you set these, those might be a little bit different. This is actually the seed, or pardon me, salt of the structure. So it helps with the generation of the seed of where the structures are going to be generating. Generally, these are a little bit different in Minecraft for structures. Yours might be the same as mine or a little bit different. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter too much. You can leave that alone, or you can experiment with it and try offsetting it. This is actually really good if your structure starts overlapping with other structures. You can actually change this and it should fix the offset a little bit. You can try like 100 or something like that at the end, and then it can offset the structure a little bit by like 100 blocks or something. But we're not interested in that part down here. We're actually interested with the structures array, or yeah, I think it's an array. So we have one called the test, and then the test structure. Now we can find that under the structures folder. So if we go to the structures folder, we can see there's this one right here, and that's the file that it's basically pointing to, is the test and then test. So basically our namespace, and then we're going into the structures folder here. Now that's, if you're still following along, you're doing great, because it is a little bit confusing. So we're going to actually duplicate this, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to create a new one, because we're going to need 2 of these for our own structures, right? So we're going to go test 2, and the other one, what we're going to do is we're going to go with test 1. And right now, don't worry about too much. Just don't bother testing, because it'll probably not work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to point to that file. So we're going to copy this object, and we're going to put a comma at the end, and then paste in the object again. And what we're going to do is we're going to go with test 1 for our structure, and we're going to go with test 2 for the other structure. And that will point to, again, we changed the name of that, so we'll have to go, so we'll point to these 2 files here. So in these 2 files, we can save this now. We don't need to worry about it. As long as you don't have a comma at the end and only a comma between the 2 objects, you should be fine. So now that we have these 2, we need to actually point to a starting pool. So we also need to make sure that we have a target biome that we want to generate the structure in. So if you haven't already, you're going to want to go to your tags. I have 2 biomes selected already, biome tags. You can create a biome tag by going to the tag type, selecting biomes, and then under your mod namespace, then you basically type the name of the tag here. So I did is forest and is plains, and then I've basically categorized all the forests and plains into those groups. So we're going to be using these 2 tags to basically tell where the structure can generate in the world. So you can go ahead and actually adjust this. The tag is represented by the # at the beginning, and then our mod namespace. So this is the namespace for this mod is just test. And then what I've done is we're going to basically go ahead and set forest for this one, and for the other one, let's get back to there. We want to open up this one, and we're going to go test is, and we're going to go plains. Make sure I spell that correctly. And then what we want to do is we want to point to another file. So we want to point to the starting pool. This is the second file, so we're going to go and make this one the first file, and that's all we need to do here in both of these files. So you should have similar settings like this. So we have one for the plains, and then we have the second one targeting the forest. So once we've done that, we can click save, and we only have to look over the last thing, which is the template pool. So now the template pools are basically where your structures are going to be generating. We're just going to copy this base template one in, and we're going to name them what we named in the other file. So we're going to go test, and then we're going to go 1, and then we're going to go test and number 2. So _2, like that. And then we're going to open up both of these in our editor, and we should have these files, which are not the ones that we just worked on, but a little bit different. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that the name of this file is the same as the file name, so we can go ahead and set this up for both of those. And then we just need to target our block. So the first one is fine. We already have it selected for our structure that we want. And then this other one, what I want is just to basically name it 2, because that's the name of the structure that we have set here. So we have our biome 1 and our biome 2 structure. So this is biome 1 or biome 2, and this one is biome 1. So that's all set up now. And that's all you need to do. And once you've done that, it's going to basically do a wait for the biome, and it's going to do either 1 or 2, and then it's going to point to these structure files, which are the 1 or 2 files. And then that's also going to hold the information for what biomes it should spawn in. So test is plains or test is forest. So the other one is basically going ahead and generating the structure itself. So we're basically using that pool to generate the jigsaw block part of things. So that's, again, targeting the pool name, and then we're going ahead and actually generating the biome or the structure for this particular file here. So that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. Now let's go ahead and start up the game, and I'm going to generate a new world, and we're going to see if there's any difference in the structures. All right, so let's go ahead and just generate that one that I had before. So we're going to regenerate that one, and if all goes well, we're going to have 2 structures generating in 2 separate biomes. So the first one, it's a little bit different. We have the second one. The other one was the little log cabin that I made. This one is now generating the enchantment table in the forest biome, because I must have reversed the order of what structures generate. So if we go over here, we should see the log cabin in this biome. So now you can see that the structures are generating in different biomes. So, and if we go over here, it's not going to be the same. This is an ocean biome, so it's not going to generate there. It will generate a little bit off the coast there, because that's technically the plain still, but you can see that all through the forest we're going to come across these little quartz structures with the enchantment tables and stuff in it. So that's pretty cool. Outside of that, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, rate the video, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out. I have this friend that has their own server hosting company, and they have the lowest prices in the server hosting community, and they've given me a promo code to give to you guys. So if you want to get a good deal for the first month, then you can use the promo code Northwest for 45% off your first month. Offer expires July 19th, 2034. The link to their site is in the description.